button. So
just letting everyone know that we will be recording this portion of the program, and anybody that is not agreeable to being recorded may exit the program at this point. If you continue to participate in the program, you hereby agree to our terms, which calls for allowing us to use the recording on social media, including our YouTube channel. Thank you.
well, I accidentally muted myself. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started shortly with today's special hybrid event through the Palestine Museum. Today's event, A Stitch in Time, is held at Dar el Hurriya, which is the Palestine House of Freedom in Washington, D.C. And we have with us special guests, Jan Chalmers, Jihan Al-Farda, Ibrahim Mahtadi, and of course, museum director and founder, Faisal Salah. We'll get started shortly with today's program, which will give us a deeper insight into the Palestine Tapestry Project, which is now partnering with the Palestine Museum, an incredible project that gets the story of Palestine out through the arts, through traditional Palestinian cross-stitch tatriz. Yes.
We're going to be starting in a minute here. So thank you so much for your delightful anchoring and co-hosting. We're ready to get started.
Excellent.
You have a microphone? Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Palestine House of Freedom, also known as Dar al-Hurriya. My name is Tala, and I'm the Programs and Operations Director here at House of Freedom. Welcome to our Stitch in Time event. Our event is mainly based off of tatriz, embroidery, that has been done by Palestinian women in villages in Palestine, in Lebanon. And Faisal will talk more about the event. Just to let you all know about the space, Palestine House of Freedom started just a little over a year ago. We offer different cultural events on Palestine, political education events on Palestine, and we also work with joint struggles as well. So if you ever want to host your event here, feel free to go on our website and sign up. And just some house rules. There's bathrooms down the hall over there. We have our photographer today here, Donia. She's our photographer and videographer. If you would not like your picture taken, can you just raise your hand? All right, everyone wants a photo today, great. And with that, I'll go ahead and introduce our founder, Miko Palet.
Miko, if you could sit down so they can hear you.
They can see me and hear me, no?
They can't hear you.
Oh, they can't hear me?
You have to get a little closer to the computer.
Okay.
Right there should be fine.
Okay, so thank you, Tala, for all your incredible work and for putting this together. And thank you all for being here. And thank you, Faisal, for coming down and being together. Faisal and his installer spent the entire day here yesterday putting up this incredible art. And I have to say, every time we have an event that includes art, it's just so uplifting. It's just so, it's so important. And on July 5th, we're having an art workshop here. I don't know if you saw that beautiful board over there next to where Tala is standing. That was made here as a community art project. And so on July 5th, we should have the flyers coming up soon, but on July 5th, there's gonna be a whole collaboration. There's gonna be a bunch of those. Hopefully we'll be able to be outside and everybody can participate. So the purpose of creating Palestine House of Freedom, by the way, who's here for the first time? Can I see a show of hands of who's here for the first time? Okay, cool. All right, that's great. Well, welcome. Ahlan wa sahlan. The purpose of creating this space was to have a space that is unapologetic, 100% Palestine-centered. We're not seeking anything beyond that. We are a conduit through which Palestinian voices, authentic Palestinian voices in Palestine are lifted. And I don't have to tell anybody in this room, I assume that the Palestinian voices are not heard. We are engaged in this noise that we hear all the time that comes from the other side. They've taken away or they've defined what Free Palestine means, they've defined what River to the Sea means, they've defined all these different other things, and they're telling us that it's anti-Semitic and all this kind of nonsense. You know, our mission is to make it very, very clear, and we're an educational nonprofit, that the vision of a free Palestine from the river to the sea with equal rights is the solution, is the optimistic vision, is the hopeful solution. And the obstacle, as we of course see now, as our brothers and sisters in Iran are under this enormous, horrific attack, that once again, the apartheid regime that has taken hold over Palestine is again destabilizing and creating violence and so forth and so much suffering. So that's our mission. And as Tala was saying, we are working on a robust education program and a curriculum, and it's based on the principle of tarakum. And this is another thing that Tala introduced and we're developing. And the idea of tarakum is the accumulation of the Palestinian experience, political education, culture, you name it, literature, poetry, art, and on and on and on and on and on. God knows how the body of writing that exists by Palestinian leaders throughout probably 100 years, and it's ignored. So our objective is to dig deep into that and to translate it into an actual curriculum so that people are aware of what Palestine is, not just as this place out there that, oh yeah, they've been fighting for 1,000 years, but as a place that has a rich history, a rich culture, and a rich culture of resistance and political awareness that is not known. So that's the crux of what we're trying to do with our political education. Like Tala was saying, everybody that has to do with Palestine, all the different organizations, all the different groups, have been using this space, either collaboration with us or on their own. So anybody who would like to do that is welcome. We do it free of charge. The space is available. You have these cards on your table that talk about the Tarakum principle. And also, if you'd like to donate, like I said, everything we do here is practically free, if not free. And if you'd like to help us out and donate, there's a QR code for that as well. So once again, and I'll just say that if you look around here, this is beautiful works of art, but there's no question here that this is not just culture and history and faith, but also an incredible political statement that calls for the free Palestine, all of Palestine, unapologetically from the river to the sea. So once again, thank you, Faisal, for bringing this down. Thank you to the panel that's out there that will be speaking, and thank you to all the audience that's out there on Zoom. So with that, I will leave you with Faisal. Thank you.
Thank you, Miko. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Miko. We're very appreciative of the Palestine Freedom House House of Freedom, sorry, for hosting our exhibit here today. And I also like to thank my colleagues on the panel, which I will introduce shortly. This is an exhibition of the Palestine History Tapestry. It's a project that's been around for over 12 years, and it encompasses 100 panels of embroidered works that were designed by our team, and they were embroidered in the field by Palestinian women in refugee camps in Lebanon, Jordan, the West Bank, the Nakab, and in Gaza. This really is part of the Palestinian Turath. This collection is such a valuable piece of Palestinian history and Palestinian culture. Last year, the project and its team elected to be part of the Palestine Museum US, and our two organizations merged together, and we work now as one team. And we are continuing to develop the project further in a much bigger way and a stronger way. And we will be talking to you about the current project that we have embarked on recently. At this point, I would like to introduce the team, and we would like to hear a little bit of a history about how this thing got together, and what are the activities and the achievements of the team, and what does each person in our team do. And for that, I'd like to introduce our team. Jan Chalmers is the founder of the Palestine History Tapestry Project. Ibrahim Mohtadi is a co-chair of the Palestine History Tapestry Project also. He's also the creative designer on the team. And also Jihan Al-Farra is a member of the team, and she's involved in a variety of activities, particularly in the media area, and in the management and the operation of the organization. To start with, I would like to ask Jan Chalmers if she can give us a little bit of a background about how the Tapestry Project got together and the history behind it. Jan?
Yes, fine. Thank you, Faisal. The tapestry was put together in 2011, which is quite a long time ago. But I started it with two colleagues in Oxford, following work that I did with a South African tapestry, telling their history of the San, the Khoi, and the Xhosa, and it's the Keiskamma tapestry, which is very famous now in South Africa. After I'd finished working with these people, I decided that I needed to do something more. And Ian, my husband, asked me who I knew that had a story to tell, and a big story to tell, and an exciting story to tell, and a sad story to tell. And of course, we'd worked in Palestine in 1969 and 70 in Gaza, and it became obvious that there was a huge message to tell. Now, I know that the skirmishes and the activities that have been going on in the Middle East have been written about, they've been televised, they've been filmed, but they've never been embroidered. And the reason I thought of doing it as an embroidery story is because of the tatrees, which the women is their traditional way of decorating clothing and household linens, is also something that there is a myriad of people interested in. You have interest because it's a tapestry. You have people interested because it's textiles. You have people interested because it's about the history of Palestine. And you have people interested in embroidery in general. And it's also a good thing for children to look at, to children to see. It's colourful and it's attractive, and children can begin to learn the story. There are 100 panels, and it starts with the Neolithic period in 9000 BC, before the Christian era, and it finishes at the it finishes at the 1914 in 2014. This particular group of embroideries. There's at least one panel for each era through time. It's obviously a huge span of time, and there's no way one could get everything down, but there is a panel for every era. And it started out not as a political thing at all. It started out as a story to let people know who has been through the country, who's been there, what they left behind, and how long they spent their time there. And it started as a kind of a story of the land, and to show the people that had been through and what the people had left behind. But gradually, as we got towards the present day, it did become, as you can imagine, a little bit political. The women that stitch them, as Faisal has said, are in 5 areas in Palestine, or diaspora of Palestine. And there are in total about 50 women that are stitching. But the whole project has about 150 people involved in it, and they're people who administer it. There are patrons, 17 patrons, lots of people that go back and forth to Palestine and bring the panels back home to here in Oxford, where they're mounted and ready to put on show. So it's been a long journey. It's been interrupted by skirmishes and by wars and by invasions and by sieges. So it's been difficult to get the work done, but we have managed to get 100 pieces. It began really in Gaza. I went out to meet Abraham in Gaza, and he agreed to become this sort of coordinated designer in the Gaza group. And so we have we have our designer from Gaza, and we have our first panels that have come from Gaza. And from that, the 4 other groups grew and became part of the project. I don't know what more you want me to say about it now, Faisal. I don't know how many panels we've got there today, but I can see there are quite a selection across the eras.
We have 40 panels here on exhibit. It's I curated this selection from the 100 panels that we have.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Jan, can I just ask how many new panels have been created so far, if any? I thought there were some already.
No, well, there are still panels that are being created to add to the original tapestry, which is the one that you have now. But the new panels that are being created is the Gaza tapestry, and Jahan and Abraham can tell you more about that because they've been more involved in the design, the subject matter, and the sort of the instructions about how to produce a new tapestry, because it's all going to be quite streamlined this time. But
So
they'll tell you how many there are.
Yeah, let's go to Jahan to tell us about the new project that we're working with. And then after that, we'll talk to Ibrahim to discuss some of the technical aspects of it and the design considerations that we're dealing with. Jahan?
Yeah, thank you, Faisal, and thank you everyone for hosting this exhibit and having us on to speak. So I don't know if everyone in the room has managed to see the panels that are on display at the moment at Palestine House of Freedom. But as you can see, they are essentially bits and pieces of the history of Palestine from the past until today. These women, these Palestinian women who have stitched these panels, these images, are based in refugee camps within the occupied Palestinian territories, but also in the diaspora and in refugee camps in neighboring countries like Lebanon and Jordan. And it's a way for them to use their traditional handicraft and Palestinian tatreez to actually tell the history, as Jan said, to tell the history of Palestine. And what we are trying to do now is try to record this genocide, essentially, and that's why we called it the Gaza genocide, through stitch again. Every woman will be stitching with her needle, you know, stitch by stitch, an entire story per panel. And the idea behind it was to create 100 panels to capture moments and to capture the atrocities, but also the sumud of the Palestinian people in Gaza and how the world has actually let this happen. We've been watching this, you know, live stream genocide for nearly 2 years now, and the world is just watching. And so what we're trying to do is to capture these moments on fabric in a way that will never be erased, to say that this has happened, Palestinians have recorded it themselves, the world let it happen, but we can't let it be forgotten. We don't know how things will wind up in Gaza. It's, you know, that every time we see that it's gone, every time we think that it's gone too far or more bleak than ever, it only gets worse and worse. But Palestinians have this curse of hope, being hopeful all the time. So what we're trying to do is now select images. And it's very difficult. It's a very difficult process to actually select images to tell the story of what's been happening. Sometimes you wonder, you know, do we capture this person who was killed, and you know, it's an icon, it's become an icon, this person has become an icon, but then there are tens of thousands of others that were killed. There are infrastructure, the hospitals that were destroyed, you know, 36 hospitals in Gaza. None of them was immune to Israeli airstrikes. None of them was immune, despite their status of being, you know, legally protected structures. They've been subjected to these airstrikes. The landmarks like the Omari Mosque, you know, these are structures that are ancient. They've been there for, you know, a long, long time, and now they're on the receiving end again of Israeli missiles and Israeli airstrikes. Everything in Gaza is being leveled, everything is being destroyed, life, infrastructure, roads, everything that we know. Journalists have not been immune, children have not been immune. And so it's quite a task. It's not an easy thing to do, to capture all of that, especially in the span of 100 panels. So it has been difficult to actually make those selections. We tried to break it into different categories to kind of make it an easier process, and to select things that will be representative of things that we've seen so far from the people that have made it into headlines, that have become icons, like, you know, Khalid Nabhan, for instance, Soul of My Soul, Hind Rajab, the little girl who was shot over 300 bullets while she was asking for help. We try to look at the health sector, because that's also been something that has been completely destroyed, you know, Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, and that iconic moment when he was walking towards the tank, and ever since we know nothing about him. He has not been seen, he's being held. So those are some of the moments. So we're looking at things that we want to memorialize, people that we want to memorialize, not because of them as an individual, but what they represent, the mothers. You know, there's the mother that, you know, Ala al-Najjar, who lost her children, who herself is a doctor. And that's the pain of every mother in Gaza, to lose so many kids and to find the will to carry on. We try to look at the blockade. So ever since this whole thing started, one of the key elements of Israel's genocide has been actually to cut Gaza off of everything: electricity, water, food, aid, everything, starvation, and complete and total blockade. So we try to capture some of that, to look at the soup kitchens, for instance, that carried this on, the ways in which people try to find a way around what they're going through to stay connected, for example, solar panels and so on. So we're looking at the blockade aspect of things, the infrastructure, as I mentioned, hospitals, schools, universities, everything has been leveled. Things to do with steadfastness. So we saw in the brief ceasefire that we had before Israel broke it in March, so from January, end of January until March, we saw how people were trying to rebuild in that time, believing that this was finally over and we can finally, pick up a broom and, sweep the rubble and try to find life again, right? So when Ramadan started, you had these massive tables and people trying, aid started to trickle in at that point, and people tried to hang on to the hope. So you saw people having these communal iftars. Among the rubble, you'll see really long tables and people trying to sit together and break their fast together and, keeping that hope alive. And then that ended in what Israel did on that night, that it broke the ceasefire with the Ramadan massacre. So we're trying to also capture that. So all of these things that we're trying to capture to kind of tell the story of what's been happening and to do it in such a Palestinian medium, because Tatriz and just the visual aspect of it, it will hit you really hard. To see some things are really, really difficult to actually, like, imagine the pain of a woman stitching somebody catching fire, and that's happened multiple times. So we will actually be having more than one panel of these incidents where people are literally on fire in tents, no less. So it's going to be difficult for the women themselves to actually do this stitch by stitch, and it takes a very long time to finish one panel, because it's quite a large panel, as you can see. So it's not like painting, it's literally needlework, painstaking needlework. But it's such a valuable record of everything that's been happening. And yeah, I agree with Jan that it's the importance of it and the significance of it once it's all completed, to have it all displayed together. The Palestine History Tapestry follows in the tradition of, the Bio Tapestry, which is a famous tapestry with the Normandy invasion, and you've got the Great Scottish Tapestry as well. So, and the South Africa Tapestry that Jan was involved in. So the Palestine History Tapestry, when you see it all together, it's like seeing it all in one kind of long. It's like episodes of what's been happening. So yeah, so this is a little bit about the background of what we're trying to do and what kind of images we're trying to capture. And Ibrahim will talk more about how to bring this about. And obviously, it's not really in complete isolation of the actual original Palestine History Tapestry. It's more of a new chapter because history hasn't ended and we're still writing that history. And we chose to focus specifically now on Gaza rather than carry on with the original one, which, like I said, spans the actual history. So we go back in time. So we could, if this wasn't happening in Gaza at the moment, we could have been, I don't know, maybe doing something, pre-1948 at that point. But yeah, this is a very significant moment in time, and I feel like we really do need to dedicate an entire kind of chapter of the tapestry on it to capture it and to have it there for people to see, and to kind of also record the world's complicity, really, and humanity's failure. I feel like it's going to be a testimony to the failure of humanity at this point in time, where they've let this happen, and the world continues to watch. In terms of the actual financial aspect or economic aspect, the only people that are getting paid are the women themselves that do the tatriz, and this is also part of actually providing them with a means to sustain themselves. We used to have a group in Gaza, and at the moment we have other groups in Ramallah and other places, which Ibrahim will talk about. But the group in Gaza, obviously, it's not as it was before. Ibrahim is still in touch with some women, and we had actually a woman who, I think Ibrahim will tell you the story about the Omari Mosque and the other panels that are still coming out of Gaza. So we actually still have someone in Gaza stitching, taking the fabric with her wherever she's displaced, and continues to stitch. So it's something that gives them also fulfillment. And a lot of the women used to say that it's a way to feel like they are bonding and connecting with other Palestinian women, because there's such a fragmentation of Palestinian society that women in the West Bank, women in Gaza, women in Lebanon, women in Jordan, they don't get to really meet each other or mingle or share their experiences. So to be part of something that all these different Palestinian women from everywhere are contributing to and kind of writing their history together, it means something to these women as well. So yeah, Ibrahim, I think we'll cover anything else, and I'm happy to take any questions after.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to Ibrahim and have Ibrahim tell us a little bit about the technicality and the design and all the related issues. And Jihan, we'll come back to you later to talk about the sponsorship part of the project.
Yeah, thank you, Faisal.
So Ibrahim, you have the floor.
Yes. Thank you very much, Faisal, and thank you, Jan and Jahan. Actually, my story started with Palestine History Tapestry back to 2013 when Jan visited Gaza, and we met at the beach of the Gaza city, and yeah, we start to discuss about the project, and Jan told me more about the project and the story behind the concept, and how can we collaborate, how can I contribute also to this project. So actually, as a designer from Gaza, also as a person living in Gaza and in my country, I really found this is very important opportunity for me to contribute and to make something to my country, to my people, to tell my story or our story and the history of our country through this project. So I really found it like a important opportunity to be involved from the first day and first meeting actually. And the first then at the first meeting, I remember I can remember all the details at this meeting. So yeah, we decided to start by the first panel to be produced in Gaza, and it was from my design. It was in a calligraphy design. It says on this land, what worth living for. It's a famous poem for Mahmoud Darwish.
It's in the back of the poem here, that panel. On this land, what deserves to live.
Yeah, so it was the first one and one of the one of the most important ones in a project. Then I started to get more involved in the project and trying how can I help more and more to contribute as much as I can. So as a designer, I can contribute in technical aspects, trying to give some design advices, also to contribute to make some specific designs. So I already contributed in some design panels, as well as trying to help in a color selection, trying also to help about the dimensions, sizing the panels. Also, part of my work was when I was in Gaza, the direct supervision with the women on the ground. So I was visiting them on their homes, on their places, on their workshops, to follow up the process, and also to discuss with them about the project and about their thoughts about the project, and of course give the space for them to also to contribute to the design. So I try to to guide them with some selections, but of course to also to ask them to contribute and to select colors with me, and if they have also any ideas for new panels as well, so we can propose it and we can also produce it as well. So it was really interesting journey, and it was it was heartwarming for me to work with the women closely and to hear from them about their thoughts about the project. So it was about the original Palestine history tapestry. Then now after like 100 panels or more, and after of course merging with Palestine Museum, and we are now working all like a one team, we thought about the ongoing situation in Gaza, the ongoing genocide, and as a project, as a tapestry, as a team, we should respond to this ongoing genocide. How can we reflect this and to document this genocide in art using the embroidery, inspiring also by our original tapestry? So we decided to raise a project, let's say starting by 100 panels, our target for now. And then after we decide to move in this project, we start to break down the task. What can we do? What should we do? So we start to brainstorming, start to collect, to categorize the the subjects of this project, as Jihan said as well. So we categorize it into several categories, and then according to these categories, we started to collect iconic photos and different visuals. Let's say it's photographs, sketches, designs, whatever, but should like tell a strong statement about the genocide, to tell a story about like some iconic scenes that happened in the genocide in Gaza. So we started to collect, and we like build our, let's say, archive, starting to collect photos, and then to discuss all these photos like one by one, about everything, about strong message, about also the graphic, about the colors, about technically the size of this image, fit or not fit. Then after like also to have the permission of the original owner of this image, let's say. So after we approve like a group of images, now we I think we approved like more than 10, maybe 15 images. We already started by them. So my task started to use these raw images, let's say, with different sizes, different contrasts, different colors, things. So we designed like a design reference to our project. This design reference helped us to communicate also with the instructors, embroiderers on the ground. So we have a design reference, explain the size, the margins, the size of fabric, the size of embroidery. Also, we consider in our sizing the golden ratio to be more comfortable, more artistic, as well as considering the colors, the number of colors for each panel. So also we fix like 7 colors each panels for different reasons. First, not to be too many colors. It's not a celebration project. To be a bit quiet artwork, as well as, the number 7 is now iconic number or connection or connected to the genocide, to our genocide, the date of starting of the genocide. Then after, let's say, preparing this design reference, we share this document also with the instructors and embroiderers on the ground, and made like several meetings to discuss this reference and their thought about also that the technical issue. So it's it's like a sharing. It's not like very restrict instructions. Of course, we have our instructions to give the unity, as we are working also with like 3 or 4 groups for now. So we should have this layout to keep the unification of the theme of our project, but as well as we participate with the with the embroiderers and the instructors on the ground, and of course consider their feedback as an experts as well, and technical women and artisans. So yeah, now it's the first step of the project. Now we are working with currently right now we are working in with a group in Ramallah and following up with them, and we're starting to see some results, as well as with other group in Ain al Hilwe refugee camp in Lebanon as well. So yeah, this is just the starting, and we will keep going, collecting more photos, tell more stories about this genocide, as well as trying to engage more and more people and embroiderers, and also we have now a new group in the US with Alia. I think she's with us today. So yeah, we are trying to involve more people to this project as well, to give more value also for our project. Yeah. Faisal.
All right. Thank you.
Yo.
1 second, please. My eyesight is not very good, so it takes me a while to find the small print on the screen. Thank you. One thing I could tell you, I'm so proud of the team we have here and the work they've done and the work they're doing. I just couldn't be any more proud of having a team on my people. And as most of you know me, I don't give compliments usually. But this is the team that I give compliments to all the time. So
I'd just say, Faisal, as the founder, we've found you, and we're so excited and grateful to you. We would never be where we are now if you hadn't have agreed to take it on. You're such a star. You're our hero, and thank you so much.
You're going to make me embarrassed there. Thank you, Jan. But I think we're all working for one thing. We're all working for Palestine, and whatever it takes. When I came on board with you, you know, you may have been concerned for a moment, like whether this is going to continue at the same pace or not. And when our first meeting, I said, fasten your seatbelts.
I know we were a bit frightened of you.
Now we said we've done 100. Now we're going to do another 100 in 1 year. And,
Inshallah.
Inshallah. And we got like 6 months to go, and we've got a lot of panels to get done. And
well, we've got one. We've got one, haven't we?
Yeah. Jan has actually completed one of the panels herself. And we are booked to have an exhibit in Venice that will open in May of the 100 pieces about the Gaza genocide in a very large exhibit hall there. And when the 100 pieces are done, what we're going to have on our hand is a genocide museum, basically, with 100 panels of it. To fund this effort and to make sure we're paying the women doing the work in the refugee camps a fair wages, we have developed a program that will allow us to fund it. And I'd like to have Jehan tell us a little bit about it and how you, as supporters of this project, can participate in that. Jehan.
Yeah, so obviously it's a huge undertaking to produce 100 panels of embroidery, full embroidery in 1 year. It took us since the project started in 2012 until now we've done 100 panels throughout this entire time. So it's over a decade. It took us to produce 100 panels, and now we're trying to produce another 100 in 1 year. Before, as I said, it's a volunteer-based project. So we're all volunteers, the designers, the people who are running things, the founder, everyone involved is volunteering their time and effort. But obviously, we wanted always to pay the women doing the work because obviously it's very, very time-consuming and painstaking work. And it's a way for them to actually make a living and to sustain themselves and their families in very difficult conditions. So we've in the past relied on mainly donations from people and some fundraising events that we would host in specific times of the year, like during Christmas or whatever. We'd have like a bazaar or something. So selling products and then making money to compensate the women. Recently, we started to think about having or making the project more sustainable. So we're selling things like prints of the artwork and things like that just to generate an income for the project and to keep it going. But for the Gaza genocide tapestry, because of the time constraints that we have until the May exhibit in Italy, and the urgency of the situation, we've developed a system where we're actually asking for sponsors of certain panels. So for individuals to sponsor panels, and every sponsor would have their name actually stitched on the panel itself as well. By the name of the actual embroiderer. So our panels usually have the name of the embroiderer signed in embroidery at the bottom of each one of those Gaza genocide tapestry panels. So we have multiple tiers of sponsorship. So we have a legacy sponsor who will be people selecting specific iconic panels. So we've decided to select specific panels they are iconic panels. So they're different from like a ruined hospital or a mosque, and people can sponsor that panel for a specific amount of money, and then their name will go on that panel. We have the rest of the panel. So I think there will be 10 legacy panels that will, I think, cost more than the others. And then everything else will be under the sponsor panel. People who can't, cover the full amount will be also invited to do like a support donation, which will also be recognized in all the literature, and they will be credited for their support of the project. We've developed like a list of the images, some of the images that are available now and ready to allocate to women to stitch, so people can immediately just log on and go through the images, see if there is one that they would like to sponsor, and then they can immediately kind of pay a deposit and then complete the process of sponsorship by contacting Jan or Faisal to complete all of that. So I can post a link to that in the chat, and maybe if you guys on your end in Palestine House of Freedom can kind of give that out to people, I suppose. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's the model that we're trying to follow at the moment, just to be able to cover the cost of producing this in time and to pay the women fairly.
We will put this the recording of this program on the Palestine Museum US YouTube channel, and also include reference to it in our regular emails that we send every week. And if you're not on our email list, Krista's gonna put a link in the chat also. I know you're sitting in here, you're not gonna see the chat, but at the entrance to the exhibit here, our logo is there, and there's a QR code. You can QR code the logo. You'll go to our website, and right on the homepage there's a place where you can join our email list. And that way you'll get notified of all this information.
We've also posted a call for sponsorship on our website as well, so palestinetapestry.org. And if you go to news, you'll find a call for sponsorship there, and it will have Jan's email on there as well, so you can contact her directly to find out more about how to sponsor a panel.
Now, the panels that we have here, the 40 panels, they all have labels on them in the exhibit hall here. And it's not just the title of the panel, but also what's it all about. So you can read about it, and it tells you who designed it, whose idea it was, and who embroidered it as well. So all that information is documented. And but you could also go to the website that we have, the Tapestry website, and all 100 pieces are on the website with full documentation. So you can look at them anytime. Now, I had tried to bring material that you can buy. We have this booklet that has all the pieces of the current tapestry, and I had 25 of these booklets shipped from Jan from Oxford. DHL people claimed yesterday that they came by and the business was closed. They didn't deliver it. It's a trick they do on Friday afternoon, so they don't have to go there. And I had 5 panels selected where I made prints from, so I can make those available to people to buy. I made 25 prints of each print. We shipped those with UPS for Saturday delivery. And this morning, UPS put in their tracking that one of their flights was delayed, and that will result in a 1 business day delay in the delivery, which means they're gonna show up here on Monday. I'm wondering if DHL and UPS, they have meetings together and decide which customers they want to screw that week. And I think we won the lottery. We got two courier vendors that failed us on the same day. So my apologies for that. But if you come here after Monday, we will have these booklets. You're welcome to peruse this while you're here. And we will have prints of 5 different tapestry items. I could tell you it has one of the most iconic ones, the henna party, which you'll see it in one of the 3 panels in the entryway. And it also has Maltini, which is here in the blue. Maltini is a calligraphy piece. So those 5 that I selected are all iconic pieces that I'm sure a lot of you would want to have in your home. But thank you, Jan, and thanks everybody. I think we, for the benefit of the people on Zoom, I'm gonna carry my tripod with the camera on it, camera 2, we call that. And I'm gonna go by the different pieces that are on exhibit here, so people on Zoom can have a chance to see them. But again, they can go to the website and look at it more closely. So I'm gonna go quickly through this. In the meantime, the audience that's here, of course, you're welcome to walk around the room and look at all the panels. And I'm happy to answer any questions for you. Before we adjourn, does anybody have any important question that we can ask? Any questions for the panel? All right, Medea.
I have a question. I did post the link to donate to the project, but I don't see where you can sponsor a specific panel. Could you just direct me so I can share that with our Zoom audience?
Yeah, Jehan can help.
I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
So there is a Excel sheet now on Zoom. And I've already also posted on Zoom a link for the call to sponsor, which has Jan's email as well for more information.
Yeah, once you go on that link, you can reserve a piece with making a small payment to reserve it, and then you can settle the rest later on.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes.
Is women in it then? Or is it mostly women?
Are you talking about the actual embroidering? Yeah, the embroidering is done by all women, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how fast the men are. They'll probably take them forever to do one of these. But some of these are going to take 2 to 3 months to make, and we are absorbing all the embroidering capacity that's in the Middle East. Basically, we're taking all that up for this project, and it's spilling into the U.S. also. We have some people doing that in the U.S. as well.
Faisal, just to answer that question, if you like, I sat for 2 months stitching the one that I've done, and it was mostly stitching. I sat at it a lot for 2 months, every day.
Do you want to show it to us?
Yeah, I can show you to you.
Yeah, okay. Lift it up some more. Okay. Keep it up for another second here, okay?
Watching the genocide unfold.
It's the Gaza Eye. And it's taken from a stained glass window that somebody created for another project, and she kindly allowed me to use it, and she was very keen to see it in another medium, and she's very pleased with it.
How many stitches?
10,000.
How many single stitches?
10,000 singles, 50,000 double stitches, and 100,000
Single
single.
stitches.
100,000 single.
The Palestinian stitch is a cross stitch. It's 2 stitches, one going this way, one across it. So 50,000 doubles, 2, and 100,000 single stitches to make this particular piece.
Yeah.
When you figure that we're going to do 100, so 100 pieces times 100,000 stitches, 100 that's 5 zeros.
Yeah.
That's 500,000. Or no, actually more than 500,000. 5 million. Yeah.
It's quite a lot.
The number
of
is
needles.
staggering. So just think how much sweat and blood and tears are going to go into making those stitches.
And some of them are stitched in the dark, or more almost in the dark, because there's no electricity, so it's candlelight or nothing.
All right, thank you. Anything else? I'll be here and I can answer questions in person if you want. In the meantime, because we have people on Zoom, I'm gonna go quickly and give them a quick look at all the pieces. All right, thank you. You guys can stay on if you want, up to you. We'll leave the Zoom open because we have people who are gonna be watching what I'm doing. So I'm gonna add a spotlight to the camera too. We're gonna remove the spotlight. Okay.
I was wondering, I was gonna ask you. Tapestry is done by one person. One woman. And one man or doing it, not just women.
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 This is a women thing. I need to mute me. Testing. All right. Excuse me, guys. So we're gonna start here. So we have a BDS panel. This is the henna party one. It's very iconic, beautiful work. The rooftops of Gaza. And then we move back here. We have Gaza under siege. We have the boys who were killed on the beach while they were playing soccer. What you're seeing is their shadows on the water, and they are not, you don't see the boys themselves. I'm just gonna go through some of these quickly. This is Resolution 194 of the United Nations about the return of refugees. This is the Ewer of Saladin. And we have Mauthani here. And below it is a piece of mosaic in Jericho. We have a variety of small pieces here. Now on. This is the Balfour Declaration. The birth of Christ. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre. We have Handala. The March of Return. The resistance to apartheid. We have Sabra and Shatila. We have the right of return, the keys. We have the Mahmoud Darwish, on this earth what deserves to live. The calligraphy. Napoleon's defeat in front of the walls of Akka. This is the hand of Fatima, Mary, and Miriam. And I'm gonna go to the other side of the room here. Give me a minute. This
Jan,
piece here
this is
is
Miko.
called
Can you hear me?
a refugee camp.
You're muted.
Military
can I ask you something?
watchtower. and an
There's an
apartheid wall.
aspiring Tatriz person here who has a question for you.
In the
Can you answer?
distance,
You mind?
we have UNRWA, the establishment of UNRWA.
Speak up, she can hear you.
Okay. Hi.
Hello, hi.
Sorry, I can't. Miko, where's Miko? Did I do that?
I think she can hear you. She heard me.
I know.
We have
There
Earth
may
Day.
be an echo because Faisal's giving a tour right now of the
I see.
Tatriz.
Okay, let me ask another time then.
Yeah, I'll get your contact.
We have the Beni Hassan.
Okay, never mind then. Thank you though.
I don't know. Turn that off here.
No. So then turn it back on.
I wonder.
Yeah, she was just trying to talk to Jan, so that she unmuted. That's
Yeah, ask me.
Okay. So I've been doing this. Wait, why is it on?
Yeah.
And I don't know where to put the memo.
All right. I think we.
Yeah, I don't think this is.
Faisal, for some reason we have an echo.
I think we can give you can talk to her later some other time. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna continue with the viewing here. Krista, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
All right. So we have Gaza under fire, or Gaza on fire. We have Sami Doon. This is about the prison, the people in the prisons. This one is a very interesting thing. It's a receipt that's signed by Herbert Samuel, who is the first High Commissioner to Palestine. It says received from such and such military general, whatever, one Palestine complete. They're like receiving a receipt for Palestine, just like as it was a piece of property or something that they just bought. We have a Palestinian stamp. We have International Women's Day poster. We have the land of the sad oranges, Stan Kanafani. And we have homeschooling. We have the Galilee Mona Lisa. We have the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque. And we have this pretty well-known scene, which was parental protection, which was about the child who was killed while his father was trying to protect him by Israeli fire. And these two pieces here, they show the rubble and the destruction caused by Israeli bombings. This is not from this current time around. This is from like 2009 or 2014, a while back in Gaza. We have the Hellenic rooster. And this is called Tahriri Tatriz. It has different Tatriz stitches and styles. You can see, come in and show details here.
It's a soap front.
I think this is about it. I think we covered most of it. So
Faisal, you're on mute. We do have one question in Zoom land of how long the panels will be on exhibit at Dar al-Hurriya in DC. Can one of you answer that? You're all on mute, by the way.
Faisal is on mute. Faisal, we can't hear
Yes,
you. Are you talking to us or is he?
I don't know who's.
I'm not sure. No, Faisal, you're on mute. That's why we can't hear you. I was just saying there's a question in the audience about how long the embroidered panels will be on exhibit in DC at the
I think
Dar
we have them
al-Hurriya.
on, yeah, we have them on exhibit, I think, until July 31st, I believe.
Okay,
So people can come and see them before then. Okay, sorry about the mute. You didn't miss much, you know. I didn't say anything important. Yeah.
When
How
were
does
the
the old
first 100 panels finished?
Well, I mean, like they were finished probably last year or so, right? Yeah,
Before the 100 were finished,
yeah.
was the tapestry project shown in different countries?
It was shown mostly in Europe.
Their store, like it was.
They were stored in Oxford where Jan is. And they were shown in the UK and maybe they were shown in Europe also, right? The tapestry.
They've been shown. No, they've been shown in Scotland. And
Scotland.
they've been shown a lot in 2 or 3 times in London.
Yeah.
But they've not been to Europe. No.
So this is the first time they're shown
Yes.
outside of they were shown in Connecticut at the museum recently and here, but that's the first time they were shown outside of the UK.
Yeah.
Is the goal after Venice to take it on the road?
Yes, yeah, we hope to exhibit in a lot of different places after the Venice exhibit. The Venice exhibit is 6 months. It ends by Thanksgiving. And this exhibit, we're willing to take it other places also if people are interested in having it. So the idea is we want people to learn about this. And it's a great project. It's really important that people become aware of it.
Are there different styles to the embroidery? So I mentioned that you talked about how that one is more like, so if it's intricate or if it's a different.
It's just different styles of, yeah.
In Bethlehem, they have Tahriri and like couching. It's in Bethlehem mainly.
Yeah.
What is it called again?
Tahriri. Couching.
Couching.
Yeah.
The majority
of these is cross stitch. Cross stitch. Yeah. Okay.
Are there schools that teach this, or is it something that women learn at home?
They learn at home from their mothers, but they have people put workshops on where you can go to some of the workshops and learn.
But traditionally, there was no like arts and crafts, kind of like cultural handiwork school that like.
No, it's mostly you learn from your mother and your grandmother and your sister or whatever. It's passed on from generation to generation. I used to help my mother actually. because she had trouble counting sometimes, and she'll work herself into a corner and be short like 6 stitches or have extra 6 stitches and have to figure out how to deal with it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. And I know it's getting late there, so I'll let you get back to your families and your evening time. Thank you, and we'll talk soon. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye.
Faisal. Thanks so much.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you, Krista. Bye-bye now.
Thank
Bye.
you. for your
Bye-bye.
support. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.